GSD Daily. And what we're going to do is every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to go live and we're going to answer any questions that you have about anything from, sales and conversion to marketing and paid traffic to getting online to bringing your business online, basically anything and everything. So this is the first time I've ever done like a live stream. So, I should say a public live stream. I've done a couple like for groups and stuff. But yeah, so it's a little bit odd. And we're also messing with some new software, Restream.io. I have done a little bit of like a scheduled broadcast this way, and it has worked out really nicely. So let's see. Looks like everybody's good. In the chat box, go ahead and say hi. It's like all of our streams are online. We got Periscope, we got a couple Facebooks, LinkedIn, YouTube. Looks like they are online despite having a little YouTube connection error warning. All right, cool. So just a little bit of general kind of housekeeping. This live stream was the brainchild of, there's so much randomness and weirdness that is going on right now between, businesses and stores shutting down and live events. A lot of our clients who are doing live events are moving to digital. There is, a lot of more traditional business models that have switched to needing to get online. So like literally, my phone just kept ringing last week, asking questions about moving digital products and moving events. And should I use Zoom? And should I use GoToWebinar? And should I just pre-record these things? And, all of that kind of stuff. How can I do business online? How can I take my coaching program and productize it? How can I do, any of the number of things that are needed when you can no longer not that you can no longer meet with somebody, but when you are encouraged to work out of your house. So the idea behind this GSD Daily is, to basically give you what you need immediately, so that you can move your business forward day after day after day. GSD stands for Get Shit Done. So these daily live streams are really meant to help move you towards your mountain. Wherever it is you're going, whatever goal that you had when you started off, it should still be your goal. I mean, the fact that, the government's doing random stuff and, all of that still holds true, and your goal should still be your goal. The landscape hasn't changed at all. It hasn't even really been delayed. There is a silver lining in this for you if you can find it. So really it's about switching the conversation between one of fear and doom and gloom to how can you make a positive impact in your people, in your prospects? How can you move them closer to your services? And really that's all there is to it. So like I said, the idea of this live stream is pretty simple: to keep you actionable, moving toward whatever it is you need, whatever it is we're moving towards. I'll be every day at 10 o'clock. Blah, blah, blah. I wrote some notes. Not that I ever write notes, but I'll drop my contact info below if you need to get a hold of me. You can go to doneforyou.com. There's a little chat bot in the lower right-hand corner, or just email jason@doneforyou.com. And really, finally, share this thing with your business partners, your acquaintances, anybody who has a business or is in charge of a business, and they're kind of not up against a wall, but they're kind of stuck right now. So, all right, what do we got? Looks like my camera did a weird autofocus thing. Boop. There we go. All right. So sometimes that works. All right. So first question, this came in over the weekend, was I have, I have a live event in June. Should I move it online? Yeah, probably. So I would say give it, 4 weeks out, and I would probably start moving it online. I mean, the CDC last night said what, eight weeks, plan for 8 weeks of business issue stuff. So, but yeah, I would probably move it online. So there's a couple ways to do it. There are plenty of these kind of multi-streaming services out there right now. So this one that I'm on right now is Restream.io. You can tie into Facebook. You can tie into YouTube. You can tie into Periscope, LinkedIn if you have approval, which I do not yet. So there's lots of ways that you can tie in to stream your live or your recorded, live or recorded events. So right now I am in front of a webcam. Obviously, I can share my screen. So if I was delivering a PowerPoint presentation, I could deliver it that way. It is recorded by the magic of Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. You can also upload with Restream. You can upload videos. So like what I've been doing lately is uploading my little 6 to 10 minute little podcast episodes and then streaming them live to Facebook and YouTube. To test it. Just to kind of mess around with it, but B, because Facebook and YouTube kind of give you bonus points if you stream live because you're using their platform. So what we found is a lot of times live streams have lower click costs, like on ads, and the same goes with YouTube. So typically you can promote those things and get more reach, for cheaper. The nice thing about that is with Facebook, you can retarget, lookalike audiences, and you can create custom audiences, all of that stuff based on how much of a video somebody watches. So we can retarget, who watches a certain portion of this thing, which is pretty cool. So that's one way of doing it. Another one is StreamYard. StreamYard is a nice streaming platform that will, I haven't really played with it too much. I know that it has gotten popular for any kind of one-sided streaming, Then there are your conferencing tools, so there is Zoom. Zoom, you can have, you can have a couple people on the stream. There is the one that we really like is just the oldest one, go to meeting or go to webinar, tends to be the one that we have used the longest and the most. It's still the one we use. There is Join Me, which is another one that is more like kind of help desk oriented. But between Zoom and GoToWebinar, if you have multiple people, so a lot of people film podcasts, they'll do interviews for podcasts in Zoom and then stream it to Facebook and YouTube, which is cool too. So in taking your events live, those are some options. That also begs the question, if you have a live event and you are making it digital, how are you going to charge for it? How are you going to make sure that only the people who pay get access? If you are charging $297 per ticket, then that one person should have access to your live event. So that means you should probably have a membership area set up. There's a lot of things that we do, from a membership area standpoint. The one plugin that we kind of always use, we always come back to, is Wishlist Member. It's been around forever. It's a really, really nice WordPress plugin for locking content behind a membership area. And then what you can do is you can drop the embed code for your Zoom or whatever. Like you can drop the live embed. I was actually playing around. Doneforyou.com/GSD has a live embed code for this restream. I don't know if it's working. Actually, probably interesting to go check and see. Doneforyou.com/GSD because I'm literally sitting here talking to my camera, and it is loading. And it looks like it is working. So there's a little play button here. So that's awesome. But that is one way that you could lock only paying registered users, give them access to your event and lock everybody else outside, because of course, you got to control access if it's online, so there is going to be a number of people who are, sharing that thing, if your if you don't have those kinds of login precautions in place. I know one of the things, whenever we do like live webinars, it's so weird because a lot of times we'll just promote to our email list, and then people will they'll share the link, and then so we'll get 30 or 40 new email leads every time we do a live webinar. And it's not because we did any like promotional activity. It might even be like a training or something. It's just people share the link, and then all of a sudden we got a bunch of new leads who will re-import the list, and it'll say you got a bunch of new emails being added. So when you're doing these live events, especially if you're moving from an in-person module, an on-location event, then you're going to want to make sure that is addressed. Now, in terms of shopping carts, there's a lot of different ways you can use shopping carts to charge for access. A lot of the events that they're kind of sold through like Meetup or through some sort of an event platform. If you transition to an online event, then you're going to be looking at probably some of the more traditional shopping carts, so something like Infusionsoft or Entreport or Samcart, so that you can take money, online, and then email them out the link to the events once they go live. All right, let's see. We got another question here. Okay, so moving my in-person mastermind to digital. Okay, so in terms of moving like anything that is coaching or mastermind related, moving it to digital, there's a couple really great ways to do it. First of all, you can do some of the live stream stuff. That's totally cool. But one of the things that I've done recently is whenever there's like a live coaching component, we move it into products. So how do we take this training? How do we take this, this education thing? How do we productize it? How do we record videos that then we can sell those videos through a membership area online? So rather than $2,500 for live mastermind or whatever, then you can charge for the course itself. So a couple things that we do there. A lot of times we'll kind of outline the course, in PowerPoint, and then those videos will be recorded with like a ScreenFlow or Camtasia, 2 screencast, options, softwares. From there, they'll be edited and exported, and then the content management system a lot of times will be like Teachable or Kajabi, or we even use the Wishlist Member. And then we just lock all that stuff in a membership area. So, all right. Next question. Let's see here. All right. It's about 10:15. We've got a couple more minutes. We can do this. All right. All right, next question is, in terms of content delivery, it doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, so creating courses for online. That's generally what the question. So creating courses for the internet, or selling courses online. So the first thing to figure out is, and kind of where we start when we start working with experts or specialists who are trying to digitize their knowledge. The way we start is really to talk about what are their passions, like what is the thing that people continue to come to you for advice and for support again and again and again, and usually it's one thing, so it might be a couple, but it tends to relate to like, what is your why? What are you uniquely gifted to do? All of that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times people, your friends, your acquaintances, even business people you're in business with or whatever, they'll come to you for a certain thing. So generally that's kind of where the conversation starts. The first digital product that I ever created was it was an ebook called The Client Crusher, and it was 10 ways to get to pick up local marketing clients. Because way back when, when I first started doing this, I was doing a lot of client work. And so I wrote this ebook on just kind of 10 tips, 10 things that I did that may have been different than everybody else or may not have been. I don't know. But that ebook it was a free download. It was a lead magnet. I think it was like 19 pages long. I wrote it in a weekend, and then I let a friend put it in their membership area. And then, so that was like on a Saturday. I emailed it to her and said, here's a free thing for your membership area. Just make sure to include this link, and then I can start building my email list. Well, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I didn't really look at it. Monday, I turned on my computer, Monday afternoon, and I had over 200 leads, 200 email addresses that had signed up to my email list. It was a huge win for me because before that, I was kind of blogging and kind of doing some internet marketing. It was the first digital product that I ever created. So it was, and that local client thing was my thing for a little while, for probably two or 3 years. And how that book kind of came about was I wrote the 10 tips. And then what I did was I surveyed or sent a quiz to those 200 leads. And I said, first, so 3 questions. What did you like about the report? What didn't you like about the report? And what would you like more of? So the first question, what did you like about the report, told me kind of, what they enjoyed, what they got out of it. The second question, what didn't you like about it, kind of sucked to hear the answers, but what I learned was all the things that I could have done better in writing that lead magnet. And then the third question, which was, what would you like to know more about, showed me or told me all of the ways that I could expand on that report and all of the things that I, could create. So what I did was I went through and out of the 200 people, I think, probably 60 or 70, signed, or they responded. They gave me answers, so what I did was I grouped all of those people into buckets, or grouped their questions into buckets. So I ended up having 4 or 5 kind of modules, 4 or 5 topics that people wanted more information for. So one of those topics was tools and software. And another topic was what to do during the first meeting, when you're pitching a client, what to do then, what should you wear, what should you bring, printouts or handouts or whatever. This was 10 years ago. So printouts were actually still a thing. Then, so I was able to arrange their questions, into topics, and I answered them, through little videos. So I just created a couple PowerPoint slides and recorded some videos through Camtasia, because I was still on a PC at the time, hadn't quite made the switch. So recorded them through Camtasia, exported them as MP4 files or whatever, put them in a membership area. It was WordPress and wishlist membership area. And then I started selling access to it. So that course, I think I sold it for $67, and I gave it to that list. I gave it to those guys for, I want to say it was half off or something. So then, so the people who downloaded the lead magnet for free, then they started buying the course. And that course went on I sold it for a couple of years. It kind of went through a couple of versions. And then I added, some modules to it and stuff. But really, my point is, if you're looking to digitize your information, start small. Start really just writing a 6 to 8 page report that you can give away for free and maybe survey your audience. If you want to dive in a little bit further than that, then create an outline of the modules, of the topics that you can talk about through your course, of the things that you can teach. And then, from there, you can go into really start diving in. So here, bear with me for a minute. There's this piece of software that I really, really love to use when I'm digging through courses. And what I'm going to try to do is flip this live screen to my screen so that you and I can actually look at this, software together, and I can kind of show you how I build these things. So the software that I use is MindMeister, mindmeister.com, Meister. So I'm just going to log into my account here. So I think you can have a couple mind maps, and then it's got all the you can open it up on an iPad and all that other stuff. So we're going to look at the sales funnel course. So I just use this mind map to create a course called Funnel Formula, and Funnel Formula is over on proaccelerator.com. So we're going to go through a little mind map lesson as long as this transfers. So I am going to share my screen, and we're going to see if this works. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. All right, so share my entire screen, share my application window, share my Chrome tab. So I'm going to share my entire screen. All right, so we're going to see if this works. Oh, look at that. That's awfully nice right there. All right, you should be able to see my screen right now. So this is a mind map that I do on MindMeister, and how I organize these things is I always start in the middle. So we start in the middle. We have a sales funnel in the middle. And so this course, I wanted to build a course on sales funnels. So I always start in the middle. And if you look here, we have 4 main topics. And this is actually, it is 5 topics, because content marketing is such a big part of this. I ended up kind of splitting it out. But we have, let's see, can I make this any bigger so you can see it? All right, cool. So we have sales funnel, and then we have your website, which is one of the categories. Then we have content-based assets, which is another category, and then we have sales funnel, which is another category. And then we have traffic. So basically, the thinking is this: you need a website in order to, in order to sell your thing. You have content-based assets, which are your sales material. You have your sales funnel, which is the arrangement of those content-based assets, your sales videos, your, all of that kind of stuff. And then you have your traffic, which is how you're getting your traffic. Now, how I do it is kind of start with the outer ring. So we're starting with your website. And then I go through and I kind of pull it out into, all right, there's 3 kinds of traffic that we do for clients. We specialize in the most: Facebook, Google, and retargeting. So of those types of traffic, then I'll go through and I'll detail each of them. So with Facebook, we have let's see, we don't want to do that. So with Facebook, we have rollouts, we have a rollout strategy, we have the setup, we have ad creative, we have targeting, we have the launch strategy, and then we have optimization. And under optimization, we have clone winning ad sets. And then from there, we break them out into age groups and genders and location. For testing new creative, we test ad copy, new videos, new images. So each of these modules are education on how we do these things. So screen share videos and videos, kind of like you're watching now. So, but a lot of examples, a lot of, all of that stuff. So we have the same for Google and retargeting. And if we pull underneath the sales funnel, we actually have 8 different sales funnels that we build. So the webinar sales funnel, the FQL, BSL funnel, and each of these, so this is one particular module on how to build fully qualified lead sales funnels. So best used for coaching, consulting, complex services, real estate. We have the major components of that thing: core sales copy, core pages, core automation, and so on and so forth. But what this does is it lets you really get a really good idea of all of the different things, that you can teach on. And one of the reasons that I mind map all of this stuff this way is so that I can put all of my thoughts onto paper. You can think of it as like a college syllabus. Having that syllabus, what every week, all of the different things you're going to be going through, all the pages, the textbooks you're going to be using, all that stuff. This is the core syllabus for lack of a better, terminology. The other nice thing about MindMeister is you can actually export to PowerPoint. So I don't actually create PowerPoint slides for the courses. All I do is I mind map it, and then I just hit this little export tool. I share it, and then let's see, I can publish my map. So I publish my map to PowerPoint. And I have to do a little bit of editing of the PowerPoint slides, but by and large, all of this material is here. And now I just have to go through and talk about it. So like content types and content marketing guidelines and publishing frequency, so that ends up being a really, really nice way of creating courses, because you can think about it once, you can kind of design it, you can export it as a PowerPoint presentation, as a big PowerPoint presentation. I think this thing was like 600 slides when it exported. Took a couple hours to go through and edit, and then I was able to start recording, and the recording took quite a while. So I'm going to see if I can flip this thing back to my screen. So we're going to enable camera, stop screen sharing. And this, okay, cool. So I think we're back, right? You can see me? Okay, cool. So that's how I create courses. I go through, I start with one central idea, and then I, kind of group it into topics. And then from there, break that topic down into usually 4 to 7 things that need to be taught within that topic. And then from there, you can go and get as granular as you want. So one of the examples might be, content marketing. So inside content marketing, there's lots of different things we can talk about. But one of those things is going to be keyword research. So what is the best way to find the keyword phrases that people are searching for in Google? And then how do you write content for those keyword phrases? So it's just one example. Now you have your own thing. You have your own kind of classifications, your own topics in whatever your discipline is. So if you are a coach, then that when you are coaching somebody from a business coaching standpoint, personal development or whatever, then there are typically four to 6 categories, modules, and then they go through this and then you teach these same 4 to 6 things again and again and again, and it ends up becoming a progression. That's how you set up your course, so does that make sense? All right, cool. And I think it's about 10:28. So I figured these things would last about 30 minutes. Tomorrow we're going to be live at 10 a.m. again. Go to doneforyou.com /start if you want to book a call with my team and I. If you just want to ask questions for tomorrow's session, go to doneforyou.com /GSD and make sure to share this thing with your friends, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks.